What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are in the building. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? The heat check is live. It is Friday, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we are here with the Heat Check live beat review show. Right now, we are streaming live on YouTube. Thinking about multi-streaming again, but oh, looks like I am multi-streaming. It looks like I got someone. All right. Looks like I might be multi-streaming. So, shout out to you. I got your submission in the chat. You also gave the pronunciation. I think it's Young. Let me make sure I get it right. Young Hugo. Young Hugo. I believe that's it. Shout out to you, Young Hugo. I got your submission in the list. It's first come, first serve here at the Heat Check. Got everybody listed out. First come, first serve. Let me make sure I got the text on the screen here. All right. So that way people who come in can know what's going on. All right. All right. All right. There we go. Perfect. 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 All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Heat Check live beat review show. I'm your host, Desmond A. Who am I? Who's Desmond A? And why should you be listening to my feedback? Well, once again, my name is Desmond A. I'm a music producer. Been doing it for over 12 years now. Produced music for Bravo Television, E-Television, Sci-Fi Channel, multiple indie recording artists, recorded different indie recording artists, recorded artists on Young Jeezy's label before. Just I've kind of been a few different places, sold beats online, still sell beats online. So I've been doing it for a while, man. And the Heat Check is really to give you something that I wish I had, a consistent feedback show. We definitely had a couple back in my day, but not where you could just reach people like this, like on YouTube. So shout out to the chat. Shout out to everyone who is checking out the show. Yes, thank you so much for going over to YouTube. This Desmond A Sounds on YouTube, and that is where you can check out the show. That's the primary place for the show is YouTube. So, what's the format of the Heat Check? How does it work? So as you can see at the bottom, the live submissions, the free submissions are closed. They close at noon Eastern Standard Time on Friday. So if you want to submit during the live stream, all the free submissions are closed, but you do have an option for a skip the line VIP $10 kind of pass that you can get. You pay the $10. I go ahead and kick you right to the front of the line, and then you can get your beats heard, get your feedback, and get going if that's all you need. You just kind of want to hit it and quit it and just run off with the free game. So we have that option there. But yeah, the free form opens at the end of this live show. So as soon as the live show is open, give me about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to make a YouTube community post, and then you will know that you can submit for next Friday's show. So I'm always sure to keep you updated on what's what, where's where, and how to do everything. And I will be here next Friday with another Heat Check show. So what's the format? How exactly does the Heat Check work? So I play about a minute and a half of each producer's beat. Go ahead and give my feedback, and in the chat, you can give your feedback as well. But here's the thing about the Heat Check that kind of separates it from other beat review shows. On the Heat Check, we don't snap, we don't roast, we're not here to get our giggles off. You know what I'm saying? This is a show for constructive, actionable feedback. So if you hear a producer's beat and you're not quite feeling it, give them actionable tips. Say, hey, those pianos sound a little cheap. Maybe you could try Keyscape. Or that snare is a little weak. Maybe you could try cutting up the snare and stacking it with another snare. We want it to snap a bit harder. So you're going to give them actual tips that they can use in their music production journey. It's not just, oh, that sucks, it's whack, you need to keep grinding. we want to give actionable steps. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to give you. And in the chat, if you want to give the feedback to the producers, you can do that as well. Actionable steps, actionable tips. We're going to give it to you straight, give it to you direct. But at the same time, we're going to actually help you get better. It's not just for, shits and giggles. We're trying to get our snaps and giggles off. That's not what this is for. This is help. This is sword, sharpening sword, like a martial arts. Some of you guys probably took boxing and things like that. That's what this is. We're here to help sharpen each other, get your jab right, if that makes sense. So if you're down with that, make sure you keep watching the Heat Check, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Got plenty of good stuff. And I play about 1.5 minutes of your beat, about 1.5 minutes, then I give my feedback. So I just wanted to give that information to you if this is your first time watching the Heat Check. Also, just to let you know, Made in the Studio podcast. Another episode coming up this Thursday. Got a brand new episode with a producer, sample maker, musician, very talented guy. So you're going to see that on the Made in the Studio podcast right here on my YouTube channel. Then also anywhere that you can find podcasts, just type in Made in the Studio. You're going to see an icon with a mic and an MPC drum machine. You can subscribe to that, Apple, Spotify, everything. You're going to get new episodes there. And of course, if you want free loops, FL Studio patcher plugins, everything you see down here at the bottom of my screen, go to DesmondASounds.com. All right, so took care of that. Shout out to everyone in the chat. And we have a full house tonight, so I just want to get that out the way, get everything out the way, so we can get straight to the fire beats. All right. So let me go and switch over to FL Studio. All right. Make sure everything is good. All right. Got everything set up. So, I'm going to start from the top. Ladies and gentlemen, the first beat of the day is a producer named Hijack. Hijack has his first beat called Opener Beat. We're going to go ahead and take a listen and give our feedback. So let me go ahead and mute my mic. Then we can give our feedback. So let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Hijack with Opener Beat. Let me make sure I pronounce the name right. Yes, Hijack with Opener Beat. Now, Hijack, a couple things here. First, I like the idea. I like the idea, the guitar. I like the feel of the bass, and I even like those leads that came in later in the beat. It's I like the idea, but we need to work on tightening up the execution, if that makes sense. So, for one, we just need to tighten up that guitar. The guitar, I just felt like there were certain parts in the guitar that kind of it felt it felt like it needed to be executed in a more clean way, in a more polished way. Things kind of felt a little muddy. I just want that guitar part. I just want it to be executed better. It felt like an artist might listen to the beat, but they might not give it a chance. They might not hit that minute mark that we can actually feel and get into the beat. So if I can get you to fix that guitar part, that would be awesome. Also, the the relationship between the guitar and the drums. I feel like the guitar was a little loud in relationship to the drums. I want I just want the drums to be a bit I want the drums to be more present and fit with the guitars more. Just make things more cohesive. It kind of felt like things were a bit of a blur. I want things instead of being blurry, I want things to be like separated, pristine, more polished. Have things be more, I guess you could say, professional, for lack of a better term. I don't mean that as an insult, but things to be more professional. So this is what I want you to do. And it's a tip I give a lot of the times on the heat check, is to find a beat that's similar to this one. It could be a type beat. It could be a beat from a producer that you admire. And A and B, listen to your beat, listen to their beat, and start to just pick up tips with your ears on how you can get things sounding better. You can maybe hear like there's certain parts of the mid range of the guitar that you kind of want to cut out, or you just want to push up the sound of the drums a bit more. We want to tighten up the execution of this idea, so that way we can get it to right where it needs to be. Because I really like how the bass felt in relationship to the guitar. It just felt good, but we would just need to tighten up the execution. So if I can get for you to do that, that would be greatly appreciated. And you submitted another beat. You submitted another beat, and this other beat, Hijack, didn't. I don't know if it didn't export right, but it didn't come in. As you can see here, it's just empty. It looks like your second beat was until you love me. It just didn't come in. So if I can get for you to submit that for next week's heat check, I'll be glad to listen to your second beat. Unfortunately, it looks like it didn't come in correctly. So moving forward, we have our next producer in the building. We have Compass with Rich Forever 2 Chandelier Beat. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic. We're going to listen to this beat, then go ahead and give our feedback. So let's take a listen, family. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that was Compass with Rich Forever 2 Chandelier Beat. Now, with these Rick Ross, first, I like the feel of the beat. I know the direction that you are going into. That's that luxury, Rich Forever, Rick Ross type beat. Um, that Justice League, Bink kind of sound. Um, the one thing that jumped out to me first with the beat was the snare. And when we're doing these luxury type of beats, we're going for that live swing, that live percussion kind of sound that we hear in those type of beats, that type of Rick Ross style production. First thing with that snare, the snare felt like it was too much on the grid, which took away from the feel. It almost felt like a boom bap snare. And sometimes they could work, sometimes they don't. If I can get for you to just experiment with, I would say, first, let's experiment with the swing. So in your DAW, if I can get for you to just take the snare, zoom in, and just slightly take things off the grid. If you're using FL Studio, FL Studio actually has a feature here in the sampler called Shift. And this shift is very good for getting that live Rick Ross, live band, luxury rap style beats. So if you're using FL Studio, I would definitely use that just to give it more soul. That snare kind of threw me off due to the fact that it felt super on grid, and I know what style of beat this is. Also, if you can lower the volume of the beat, lower the volume of the snare. Just I would say take it down about maybe a dB, 1 dB, or you can experiment a dB or more. That should help the beat out. Yeah, and the actual snare sample, just kind of shift through different snares in your library. I just want to. This kind of felt like a boom bap snare. I want a snare that's like kind of has that Bink Rick Ross sound, that I just a chunkier snare, if that makes sense. So listen a couple of Rick Ross songs, listen to the snares, and just sort through different ones in your library. And I know that sounds crazy that the snare is what's throwing me off so much, but it just is. But once we do that, that should put us in the right direction for that beat. So let's do that, and I think that's gonna push this beat forward much more and really give us that soul that we're looking for in these luxury rap Rick Ross style beats. So shout out to you, and please continue to submit for the heat check. It looks like you have another beat here too, as a matter of fact. So, ladies and gentlemen, moving forward with Compass, we have Dope Boy Kit's Horn Anthems 2 Crowned Beat. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play the second beat of the night from this producer, Compass. We're going to take a listen and give our feedback. So let me go ahead and mute my mic. We're going to listen to this beat, then give our feedback. Oh, great tip in the chat, as a matter of fact, too. All right, so guys, make sure you check out the feedback in the chat from the other producers. If you're watching the playback, you guys might be still at work or something. So check out the feedback in the live chat. All right, moving forward to the second beat. Let's take a listen. was the second submission of the night from our producer here in the building, Compass. And that one was Dope Boys Kit's Horn Anthems 2 Crown Beat. Now, for that beat, I felt like I'm listening to a producer who normally makes hard, almost boom bap style beats, like head nodding beats with the stank face type of beats, kind of delving into a world of like the international sound. So I felt like we had one element of the boom bap style with the international world sound. And I was looking for, it's almost like it was two separate worlds coming together, but the instrumentation of this beat made me want to go more into that world Afrobeat international style sound, the kind of music you hear when you go to like Miami or something like that. Like it had the groove, but the sound selection was just so forward and snappy that it kind of didn't blend in a way that I would have liked it to. So for this particular beat, I would say think about having the percussion fit the international world more. So take off your boom bap hard hip hop hat and think international Afrobeat, world music style. So I would say even just mute the drums that you have currently, or even just cycle out different sounds. Like let's get a different kick, or maybe lower the volume of the kick, and let's just get something a bit more lively. I want more of a feel. I want my body to move. I don't want a head nod to this one. I want my body to move. I want to move. I want to groove. Let's cycle through your sounds in your library, and I know this is hard. I've been there, but let's think more subtle. Let's think more complementary sounds to the international instrumentation. It can be hard to think subtle when we come from that world of hard beats, hard beats, head nodding, stank face, rapper in the studio with us, freestyling. It's hard to take off their hat. But if I can get you to do that, think more groove, think more movement instead of head nodding. So if I get you to maybe listen to some Burna Boy and listen to the percussion. Listen to the percussion in a Burna Boy beat. I was listening to that Bundle by Bundle song by Burna Boy not too long ago. Just listen to the liveliness, how it makes you want to move, how it makes you want to groove. So let's kind of take off one hat, think international, and kind of adjust your percussion for that world. Think that world when it comes to this style of music that you're producing here. But I appreciate you for submitting this. If I can get you to continue to submit to the Heat Check, I'll be glad to provide you more feedback moving forward. So shout out to you. Moving forward, we have our next producer of the night, which is DMG. And we're going to listen to a beat of his called AMG. So we're going to listen to AMG by DMG. So I'm going to mute my mic. Then we're going to go ahead and take a listen to the beat. Then I'm going to give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was DMG with AMG. Shout out to you for submitting that beat for the night for the heat check. All right. So this beat, it feels like you're in a phase where, and I've said this before because every producer's been here. It feels like you're in a phase where you're going through your sounds and you're figuring out. Excuse me, sorry about that. You're in your phase where you're making beats, you're making music, and you're figuring out what sounds good. You're in I call it the discovery phase. You know how to put a drum pattern together. You know how to get your sounds. You know how to get your sounds and put it in the beat. You know how to get from point A to point B. But right now in this phase, this discovery phase, this is where you're working on polishing and refining your sound, which is essentially like just continue to make more beats. Keep making beats. Listen to beats of producers who you admire and take little bits and pieces from their styles or from their world, how they put things together. Then you kind of put it all together to create your sound. So I want you to continue to make beats because I can tell you're developing a sound. Continue to make beats, but as you do it, don't stay in a little corner thinking that you have all the answers. This is a big mistake that a lot of producers make, and obviously you don't feel this way because you submitted to the heat check. But to any producers who are just kind of passively watching this show, that's something that gets a lot of producers is thinking, well, I have my own unique sound. I don't want to listen to nobody else because I don't want to accidentally copy them. Intentionally listen to the sounds of producers that you admire and copy specific things. Maybe you like the way Dr. Dre's drums punch out. Maybe you like the way Metro Boomin uses orchestra. Take little things of the producers that you admire and put it into your sound, but listen intentionally and try to listen without vocals on the beat. Find the instrumental and listen closely, listen critically. And as you make beats, you're going to be able to incorporate that and help you develop your sound. So I can feel like you're developing your sound. So continue to make beats, continue to listen critically to producers that you admire, and just keep going. Keep making beats, keep making beats, keep making beats. And as you do it, things are gonna start to get tighter and tighter and tighter and more refined. Then you're gonna have your own polished sounds. Cause I could just tell that you're in that process of putting things together. And I just want you to keep going. So keep developing, keep working on beats. Don't stop working on beats. Just keep going. Your sound's gonna start to develop. It's gonna start to refine. And that's how you're gonna develop your own sound. So shout out to you. And it looks like you have another beat that you submitted for the night. So we have DMG with 4511C. So I'm gonna mute my mic. We're gonna listen to this beat. Then I'm going to give my feedback. And you can give your feedback too in the chat. So let's take a listen. Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the second submission of the night from DMG. That was 4511C. Now, that beat, it felt like that was more of your musical zone, your musical house. You may even listen to music that sounds more like this more frequently. I got a little bit of Neptune's vibes in there. I got a little bit of kind of got a little bit of Philly soul in there. Felt a little bit of Philly soul going on in there. I could hear somebody like Dwelle or Jill Scott or somebody like that maybe singing on the hook. Um, I said that you were in the discovery phase. I want to say that you're right there in that discovery slash refinement stage. So you're not in the early discovery phase where you're just learning how to make beats. You're in that phase where you're developing. You're crossing that line in you're refining now. Right, discovery, and then you're crossing into refining and really polishing your own unique sound, your own unique style that people are gonna be seeking you for. Um, Once again, my advice for the first beat still stands. Keep listening to music. Keep making beats. Um, Really, for that beat specifically, I just felt like certain parts of it felt like I wanted more professional sounds just to enhance the feel of what's there. Like that was really musically sound. Like musically that was good. Like if a songwriter was here right here next to me, they'd be like, "Oh, Desmond, pull up the Pro Tools. Let me write something to it." That's happened before. I've had songwriters just write entire songs like that. So that's a type of beat that's has wide open, has a lot of space, good arrangement where I could see a songwriter doing their thing on it. So in that case, things are good. But to kind of step it up a bit more, let's kind of try to let's look for sounds that are more polished and professional. Again, musically sound, but I just want more more developed sounds. I want if you have access to something like Contact, I would definitely check out Contact. Um, what else is a good VST? I had an interview on my podcast made in the studio, and I had the producer Andrew Lloyd on there. He goes by Drew's that dude. He's produced for Mac Miller. He's two-time Grammy Award winning, excuse me, Grammy nominated producer. Worked with Mac Miller, Young Jeezy, Omarion, all those kind of people. He's a musician as well as a producer. And in that podcast, we talked about Reason and how Reason is a DAW that you can stick with for a long period of time. And Reason has really good stock sounds that you can kind of play with and tweak. I'm not sure what DAW you use, but if you don't want to, invest in something like Contact or anything like that, if you have access to Reason, you can also rewire or you can use Reason as a VST in a lot of DAWs. So I just want to throw that out there because I am hearing that you might possibly be a musician from what I can hear, and Reason has a really good sound engine. So shout out to you, DMG. Please continue to submit for the heat check, and I'll be glad to provide you some great feedback. Moving forward, we have our producer here in the chat. Let me move my menu here. Let's see if you're still in the chat. Oh, Jay Zo, what's going on, Jay Zo? Shout out to you, Jay Zo. Hope to get some beats for you, Jay Zo. It's been a minute, but shout out to you. Glad to see you in the building. Hopefully, I get some beats for you when you have a minute. But thank you so much for supporting the heat check and just dropping in and showing love. Shout out to you, Jay Zo. Shout out to you, my brother. All right. So we have young Hugo, either Hugo, I believe I'm saying that right. Young Hugo. Yes, Hugo, like Hugo Boss. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Young Hugo here. The name of this beat is called Geeked. So I'm going to mute my line, mute my mic, listen to this beat, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. All right, J-Zo, we'll hear from you next week. Shout out to you. Be glad to listen to some beats. So moving forward, we're going to listen to Young Hugo. So let's take a listen. Hogo. Is Young Hogo? Young Hogo. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing. I thought it was Hogo, but I was like, I don't want to say Hogo. Okay. So do I got it right? Let me make sure I got it right before I start the beat. Hogo. Now, not Hugo like Hugo Boss. It's Hogo. I think I got it right. All right. Well, as we listen to the beat, I'll come back to the chat. And is juice in Spanish? Okay, shout out to you. Okay, I didn't want to say Hogo because I didn't want, sometimes producers be getting tight and they'll be like, man, what you talking about, Hogo? Man, that ain't Hogo. I'm like, bro, it's what it said in parentheses. Hugo. Hugo. Isn't that what I said? Hugo? I didn't say Hugo. Oh, I said Hugo, like Hugo Boss. It's Hogo. Hogo. Okay. So Young Juice. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Gotta make sure I got the name right. I don't want to butcher people's names, That's not school. In school they call they mess up the school teacher. The school teacher will butcher everybody's name. So I don't want to do that. Okay. Enough rambling. Let's get to the beat. Young Hugo. We'll check out this beat, then give our feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
Hugo.
And gentlemen, that was Young Hugo with Geeked. Now, that was a very hard beat. You already know that. You know that beat was hard. That's why he submitted the beat, because he knew it was hard. You knew it was fire. So that beat was a hard beat, fire beat. What I'm getting from that beat is beat battle vibes. You know what I'm saying? If I was having a beat battle, that feels like that would be your submissions. I've been in a beat battle, years ago, and I know that feel when you're on stage on the beat battle. We're all on stage, producers, which is turning up. So you got that turn up, hard hitting beat. So yeah, that to me, that was just a fire beat battle beat. The competition's gonna have to bring it with their submission. So yeah, good beat battle beat, good beat. As far as feedback, any type of feedback, see, with beat battle beats, it's like we're going for impact and surprise. We're trying to hit people in the chest. We're trying to surprise people. So since I don't want to judge it like a beat for an artist, the only feedback I can give is I mean, I don't think this even makes sense because it does kind of have a beat battle feel. It's just that is super loud. Um, Matter of fact, let me check something here. I want to check something here really quick. Let's see. Put the loudness meter on. I just want to check something here. Okay. God. Yeah, we're hitting. Yeah, we're hitting like 7 LUFS. So yeah, this is a super loud beat. But again, that's great for a battle. For an artist, I would definitely want some headroom on that beat. So just kind of lower things so it won't be difficult to put an artist voice on it. So yeah, that's it. That's the only feedback I can give is if I had to record an artist on it, it yeah, it's yeah, like yeah, Jay Zo, it's gonna kick you in the chest. It's that bow, it's that hard hitting beat. So yeah, but shout out to you, hard beat, fire beat, and yeah. Only feedback I can have is give it some headroom if you want to have a full final version to give to a recording artist to record on. Just lower your meter, get let the meter breathe. Let's not get all red. So that's it. So moving forward, you have another submission. It looks like this one is a full beat here. So we have Young Hugo with Luckiest Man in the World. So yeah, this looks like a full beat here. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my mic and then give our feedback. Let's go ahead and do that and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Young Hugo with Luckiest Man in the World. Now, Young Hugo, this beat is giving me vibes like it's giving me I kind of feel like that 2000s kind of feel that I'm hearing some artists do these days. Some artists are kind of going into that 2000s bag. That was really my era. MTV, Total Request Live, BET. Those are the kind of vibes I'm getting. Like, I kind of got like Neptunes kind of vibes to it too. That golden era of the Neptunes with Pharrell and Chad. I kind of felt like that was the direction that you were going in. This beat, one thing that popped out to me on this beat, if you don't have a songwriter or a rapper around, it might be a little difficult for them to catch that groove. If I can get for you to just experiment. Go back in your DAW. Tell me what it feels like when you add a kick on the one. So just add a kick on the one. Boom. So add another kick. Add another kick on the one because I believe you skipped the one on the drum beat. So try adding a kick on the one and let me know if the groove feels a little better, because the groove felt a little too loose. It's unique, but my only fear is that a songwriter or a rapper may not be able to catch it because it's just a little left field. So just adding that kick on the one, let me know if that tightens things up for you. Other than that, I think we could do a little bit to separate things as far as like the hook, the verse, maybe even doing little sweeps to kind of separate things. Let's see here. Where is your beat? I'm gonna put you on the one. So if we have the beat, we can even let me try this really quickly. Where'd I put your beat? I put it on the one. Okay. So let's just say, and I do this from time to time just to kind of show you guys how easy it is to separate things on the beat. So let me cut the beat back on. And like if we're grooving to the beat, let me fix the knee. So, all right, here we go. So we can do like little drops here and there just to kind of separate things out. That'll also make things a bit easier for a songwriter to kind of catch what's what, what's where, and kind of have a bit of room to kind of experiment with the energy, if that makes sense. So let me pull the chat back up. Okay, you make dance beats mostly. Okay, so I'm getting those kind of vibes. I'm getting those kind of, because I could hear like a Neptune's kind of vibe a little bit underneath. So yeah, shout out to you. Shout out to you for experimenting, man. That first beat was that was a slam dunk beat. Second beat, just a couple things on the second beat I feel like can make it easier for a songwriter to get on. So yeah. So shout out to you, Young Hugo. Young Hugo, shout out to you. Please continue to submit to the Heat Check, and I'll be glad to give you more great feedback. Moving forward, our next producer is Blondre, and his submissions looks like Sneakers EHM by Blondre. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and mute my mic. Gonna take a listen and give our feedback. You are welcome, Young Hugo. So let's take a listen to Blondre. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the submission of the night from Blondre. Shout out to you, Blondre. I believe you submitted last week. I don't know if that was the same beat where I mentioned my memory. My last week my eye was jacked up. I barely made it. So forgive me if I'm mixing things up. But I believe you may have submitted that beat last week, and then I mentioned things being reversed and trying to get reversed sounds on time. If that was you, and if it was that beat, shout out to you because you were able to get the reverse sounds on beat, and I could feel the pocket. Um, it I definitely got that YG West Coast kind of sound. It felt like, man, that's the kind of music I like in the gym. That YG West Coast type. That's one of the styles of music I like to listen to in the gym. Really puts my mind in a certain environment. I can literally see things happening. You know what I'm saying, with that kind of aesthetic musically. And I'm getting that from that beat. I can feel the aesthetics. I can see where I'm at, and that's gonna be great for a rapper to rap and get their poetry off, because it's not just a beat for the sake of a beat's sake. It's a beat for the sake of influencing a style of writing, which is great. Which is great. Which is great. As far as constructive feedback, a couple things I was hearing in the bass. One, that Moog bass that you have. I just want if we just get like a fatter one, a fatter Moog sound. I felt like that one was not as fat as it could. We can go through your sound selection, go through your sounds in your folders, or if you're using whatever splice or anything like that, might just get like a fatter Moog sound to just, a little fatter Moog sound. Just to try to find one. I just want that to be fatter. So that's one thing that's poking out to me, was that Moog sound. Also, the 808, it was cool, but I just wanted more. There's something about that 808 I just wanted more. I just wanted it to like cut a little more. I just wanted it to be more felt. Let me listen to the 808 one more time, because I didn't take a note on that. Sorry about that. Let me listen to your 808 really quick. Where was the 808? There it is. Okay. So the 808 is nice and subby. What I'm thinking is, if I can get for you to listen to that pad sound and see if any of that pad sound is starting to get in the way of the 808. If, like, look at the low mids on that pad sound and see if it's starting to get in the way of the 808. If it's hitting too much of those lower sub frequencies, don't cut all the bassiness of that sound or the bass frequencies. Just do a little dip. Or you can kiss the 808 with a little bit of saturation. I just want the 808 to, the word I found the word. I just want a little bit more separation, if that makes sense, between the pad and the 808. It's nice and subby, but I just want the character to be a bit more separated. I might be getting a bit too far into engineering and mixing, but I just want the 808 to be more distinct from everything else, if that makes sense. So hopefully you can use that advice to make that change. And once you do that, I really feel like we're in there, because you set the scene. We just need to tighten up a couple things, more specifically that Moog sound, than the 808 also, but that Moog sound more specifically. Once we do that, we got the West Coast, and just send it out to get on Instagram, hit up any West Coast artists, say, hey, I got this beat. Let's see you never know what happen with that. Don't be afraid to shoot your shot, guys. Just keep shooting your shot. You're going to have a lot of missed DMs, a lot of ignored emails. I get missed DMs and ignored emails all the time. Trying to get people on this heat check. I'm sorry. And my Made in the Studio podcast, it is what it is. Just keep shooting your shot because people are busy with life. People are busy with their day jobs. So sometimes your Instagram message, your email isn't priority on their list. So don't take it personal. That's something I had to learn. I've known that on the surface, but as I started the Made in the Studio podcast, I've had to know that these are adults living life, and just because somebody doesn't answer my message doesn't, or they saw my message and didn't reply, that doesn't mean I should take it personally, or they think, you know what I'm saying? That it's just shooting your shot. It's just like when you're shooting, you're on the free throw line with your homeboys at LA Fitness or the gym or whatever. You're shooting. Sometimes it's gonna hit off the backboard. Sometimes it's gonna hit off the rim. Sometimes you're gonna airball it, but then sometimes you're gonna hit that swoosh. But you never know, if you miss a shot and you take it personally, then you don't keep hitting up different artists. You don't keep hitting up different songwriters. Don't take rejection personally. So that's just a tip for all the producers out there. And for Blondre, if you hit up different West Coast artists, just keep shooting your shot because you never know who this beat can resonate with. So shout out to you, Blondre. Moving forward, we have our next beat of the evening. We have Icy. We have this beat called Game Over. All right, Icy, I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic, and we're going to listen to this beat, and we're going to give our feedback. So let's take a listen. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that was Icy with Game Over. All right, Icy with Game Over. All right, Icy. First, Icy, I love your drum bounce. It takes a while for producers to get their bounce good. You got that drum bounce. You got that. I don't want to compare your drum bounce to other producers, but I kind of get like Cardo Got Wings vibes. Like you might listen to Cardo Got Wings, which is a good thing. It's a great producer. So you have great drum bounce. We're still hitting, your beats are still loud. Like your kick and 808 are super loud. Like I had to keep the volume down because the kick and the 808 are super loud. So if I can get you to load a kick in 808 more, so things can be a bit more balanced, um, we definitely want to do that. The reason I keep pausing is because the loudness. It's like I hear so much potential in this beat, but I can hear the kick in 808 literally smacking against the master fader. I can hear that digital distortion. And if we could pull that down and give some headroom, keep things more balanced, I know it's fun as a producer to just crank up that beat in the studio. You saw me moving around with such a great drum bounce, but that loudness of the kick in the 808 is unbalanced. Let's pull it down. Pull it down a couple dB. We know we know the beat is fire. Just pull down the kick in the 808. Give some headroom. It's still gonna bang. Let's pull down the kick in the 808. It's just eating up so much of the space sonically. I'm just thinking, I'm putting myself in the headspace of recording an artist in Pro Tools with that beat, and it would be challenging. That's just me. It would be challenging. So let's lower that kick in 808 so an engineer who records an artist to this won't have to use a compressor on a beat. You know, we wouldn't want to have to use a compressor on a beat just to get it balanced so the artist can get their voice on it, and then we can add something on the master fader to make it feel like a whole song. So it's just kind of adding extra work for the engineer and eating up a lot of sonic space. But good beat nonetheless, but we need more headroom. Icy. So let's try to get some more headroom. Please. That's going to take your beats out of here. All right. Moving forward, we have another submission from Icy, which is Lullaby. And from the waveform, I can see that we have very loud kicks. Yeah, so let's listen to how it sounds, then give our feedback. Can't judge with my eyes, got to judge with my ears. So let's take a listen. Let me mute my microphone. And right, here we go. Gentlemen, that was Icy with Lullaby. Icy's second submission of the night. Now, Icy, I know the direction of the beat that you wanted to go with that beat. Um, what I was missing from that beat, I see this is like going in the Jersey club direction. What I was missing from this beat was a little extra bounce. I kind of, even though it kind of has that eerie kind of sound, I wanted something to kind of like some type of percussion groove to kind of make me move a little bit. Even though it does have that eerie kind of sound, eerie vibe, I felt like there could have been something to just something to kind of make me bounce a little bit more because you are going in that Jersey club direction. So if we can add some type of percussion, kind of, I know you have the kicks going, but we want a little something to make us move a little bit more with that beat. Um, Also, the kicks. If we can pull down the kicks a couple of dB, that would be greatly appreciated. Um, Other than that, I really feel like the percussion, the added percussion that can give us extra bounce, that would help out a lot. If we can do that, I think that's going to set it off. A part of me is feeling like having you add more vocal samples to that beat, but let's add the percussion first, and then after you add the percussion, you might want to add more vocal samples to kind of give us that more lively kind of feel. Give us a little more energy into the beat. We have that. We can make a beautiful contrast with things, if that makes sense. You have the kind of dreary, kind of laid back sounds. Then we can add a little percussion to it, and then vocal samples to make a beautiful contrast with each other and kind of give it a unique feel. So that beat definitely has potential, but I feel like we need to add more elements to it to really set it off. It kind of felt sometimes it kind of felt like I was anticipating a lot. I was anticipating a lot, and I was ready for a payoff. So we just need to make some tweaks to that beat, and let's just see what it sounds like from there. So shout out to you, Icy. Appreciate you for submitting to the heat check. Please continue to submit. And before we get to our next producer, guys, give me 1 minute. Time me. Give me 1 minute and I'll be right back. Literally 1 minute. So just Right, I am back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Just had to take a quick break. So, moving forward, we have our next submission of the night, which is Dancing Maine. Dancing Maine. Dancing Maine. Dancing Maine, I think you be trolling me with these beat titles now at this point. Or maybe that's just you. Maybe that's your personality. I don't know yet. Dancing Maine with Born Again Bitches. Dancing Maine with Born Again Bitches. What a title. So, gonna go ahead and mute my mic, listen to this beat, and go ahead and give my feedback. Shout out to all the producers who submitted tonight. You guys really submitted a great amount of beats, and I sincerely appreciate that. You guys trust me with your music. It's a sensitive thing, so thank you so much for submitting. Now I'm going to go ahead and listen to Dancing Maine. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dancing Main's submission with Born Again Bitches. All right, Dancing Main. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. I love the anticipation to the hit, the anticipation to the beat drop. I like that. I like to anticipate the beat drop. I like that. You know how to make the beat groove, make the beat go, and then you know how to do strategic pauses to create tension, and then the beat hits. That's a great skill. Not every producer has it, and shout out to you for being able to do that. Now for constructive feedback, that intro sound that you have that you use for the intro and that you use for the breakdown, there there has to be like a focus. There has to be a star. So which sound did you want to quote unquote win? Did you want the sample to be the main part that the listener is really paying attention to? Did you want that pad sound? Did you want that lead sound? Which sound did you want to be the primary sound, and which sounds did you want to actually support that sound? Because it kind of felt like things were just kind of put together but not really blended, if that makes sense. It's kind of like, you're eating food and then one part has oregano, another part has seasoning salt, another part has pepper, you know, and then we bite into it. They were like, what's really the focus of this? The flavors are good, but it's not really blended together in a way, if that makes sense. So what's going to be that main sound in that breakdown part, and then figure out the supporting sounds, so that way you can kind of balance the volume in your DAW in the mixer. Okay, I want the sample to be the main sound, so let me pull the pad back, let me pull the lead back, and let me let the sample really hit the listener. So kind of figure out what you want to be the main thing to hit the listener in that intro breakdown part that you have. So once we do that, once you have a focus, you'll be all good to go. I can hear that I can hear that buzzy 808 bass sound, that distortion. It didn't bother me too much. I know a lot of producers like that buzzy 808 sound. Sounds good on small speakers, but yeah, that was cool. It didn't bother me too much. So shout out to you. And then you have another submission for tonight. So ladies and gentlemen, Dancing Main's second submission of the night is 3 lines, a girl that looked like Pam Grier. Okay. 3 lines, a girl that looked like Pam Grier. Interesting titles. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic, listen to this beat by Dancing Main, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. and gentlemen, that was Dancing Main's second submission of the night. 3 lines, a girl that looked like Pam Grier. Second submission of the night by Dancing Main. Now, Dancing Main, I like your breakdowns. I like how you know how to do little stutters and stuff like that as well. Not only do you know how to transition, you know how to do little stutters to make you listen to the beat and wait for the drop. So that's the shout out to you for that. That beat, the 808 buzz, that was prominent. That was very prominent. Please dial that back, Dancer Main. I know producers, we like that saturation, that distortion sound. It's just a bit too much. So let's either use a EQ to take it off if that's on the actual 808 sample, the actual 808 sound. Use a low pass filter to kind of take that off, or lower your distortion plugin. Just kiss it with it. See, the thing with that distorted 808 sound is if you kiss it with it, it's like ketchup. You know, less is more. Well, less more with ketchup. I said hot sauce. Hot sauce. Less is more with hot sauce. So you can dabble hot sauce on something and it's like, I taste the hot sauce. Or you can douse it in hot sauce and it's like the hot sauce is kind of overbearing everything else that's going on here. So if we can just make the buzziness of the 808 more like, just pull it back some, because once you crank that up in speakers, the buzz, if you kiss it, it's going to be sweet and when we crank things up loud. But if it's so much like it is now, it's going to be overbearing and it's going to kind of take a bit too much from the beat. So let's dial back the buzziness of the 808. And speaking of that, ladies and gentlemen, if you weren't aware, I have an FL Studio Patcher plugin called FLD Bass that is specifically for producers who want that type of buzz, because I kept hearing it over and over again. So FLD Bass is a free FL Studio Patcher plugin you can get at DesmondASounds.com. That's right, it is 100% free. All you got to do is download it and use it. So you can go ahead and add your buzziness here. You can add your buzziness here. And then you can filter the amount so it's not super overbearing. And that's why I wanted it to be, so you guys could control the buzziness. So it's not all the way there at all times. So you could kiss it with some buzziness, kiss it with another type of buzziness, and then smoothen it out so it's not so loud and overbearing. And then after you add the distortion, sometimes I could take off some of the sub, so then you can use this to add some of the sub woofer sub sounds back to your 808. You just use these two to add the sub back in. They use this to filter it. If you feel like the sub is too much, you can use this filter, but this just adds the sub back in. Excuse me, this is the frequency of the sub. So this is where you select the you want super low subs around here. You want to get kind of the low mids around here. Super easy to use plugin. Just mess around with it. DesmondASounds.com. FLD Bass, game changing plugin, and it is free. So ladies and gentlemen, go get that. And Dancing Main, back to your beat. That's really the main thing of the beat, was that buzziness. If Dancing Main, do you have an artist that you work with, Dancing Main? Because you make a lot of beats and you have your style and you even have your naming conventions. So if you don't have an artist, guys, unless you want to be an instrumental producer, please try to get with some artists. And once again, like I said earlier, don't be afraid of rejection. Shoot your shot. Hey, my name is Dancing Main. I found your music. I feel like we can make some fire together. Hit people up, no matter what country you're in. Just keep going and see who resonates with your music. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of feeling like Dancing Main, your music is distinct, and it's at the point where it's like, okay, if you lock in with an artist, you guys can kind of make your own vibe, your own thing, your own sound and style that people will gravitate towards you two for. So please try to lock in with an artist. Dancing Main, Instagram, SoundCloud, wherever you can, try to find an artist to lock in with. All right, so shout out to you, Dancing Main. Please continue to submit every week for the heat check, and I'll be glad to help you out, man. All right, let me make sure I got the FLD bass off. Don't want to have that on nobody's music. All right, it's off. All right. So we're going to continue on with the heat check. Let's go and let's see who else we have here. We have a producer called You Hear Me. I don't hear you now, but I'm about to hear you in a second when I play this beat. So we have You Hear Me with Flip Something 98. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic and listen to Flip Something 98 by a producer named You Hear Me. Do you hear him? About to find out. Let's take a listen.
You know, really the bad side, because you know, to every bad side and to every good side.
When they hunting for you? When they hunting for you?
They got ghettos all over the United States, so.
Ain't no niggas super active around here. Niggas just doing their thing.
Where am I here?
Everything.
Where am I here?
I mean, every hood across America.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that was You Hear Me with Flip Something 98. All right, so You Hear Me. Shout out to you for that beat. You're taking me back. I'm hearing some of the music that I grew up on in that beat, man. Have older brothers, man, and love hip hop music. And I'm from the Dallas, Texas area originally, and you know we listen to music from the Texas, Memphis, Louisiana, and everywhere in between. So I kind of know what that sound is. I know those. I even recognize those hi-hats, let alone the snares. So that beat, I'm getting those throwback vibes. So I can hear an artist on this beat who's either an OG who wants to make music, an OG would want a beat like that and make music, or maybe a younger person who wants to get into that OG sound and they would want to hop on a beat like that. However, one thing that was throwing me off was that main synth sound that you had going on, that I like the little bell sounds in the background. I like the main bells that you had going on as well. But that meow, that sound might be a bit challenging to get an artist to vibe with. Let me know if this works. In your DAW, if I can get you to experiment with a string sound, maybe a cello sound, or just kind of go through different sounds. Maybe I'm thinking of a cello. Just listen if you can swap out that sound with a string sound let me know if you're vibing with it. Maybe even you might even need to stack it, like have the main sound in an octave. What I'm thinking I'm hearing is instead of that synth sound, we could flip it to like fa 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 fa. So if we have that sound, I feel like that matches the texture of the drum sounds and the bells and the background bells you had going on. So let's try swapping that synth sound with a string sound. You might even need to stack it to thicken it up, maybe 2 string sounds together. Just swap that sound with the string sound and let me know if that puts your beat in a better direction, if you have a better feel. And rap on the beat too, When you play the beat out loud, rap on it, move around, freestyle on it. Then let me know if that doesn't put that beat in a much better direction. Shout out to you for that beat, taking me back. So you hear me? I definitely heard you. So we got another beat of the night from You Hear Me following up. This one is called KND1. So we're gonna go ahead and take a listen to this beat by You Hear Me. We're about to hear you. So let's take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the second submission of the night by You Hear Me with KND1. All right. So, sorry about that. That's another style of music that I'm partial to. So, that's already in my wheelhouse is R&B music and Southern hip hop with a musical feel, a great musicality. That's another style of beat that it's an easy to win me over because that's the style of music that I'm partial to. That beat, lose my notes. That beat was great musically, came on strong. I anticipated what was gonna come next. So great suspense with that beat. The 808, I liked it. It's nice and subby. Can we take it down like half a dB? Let's try taking it down half a dB. If you take it down half a dB, let me know if you could still feel it, you could still vibe with it. Because I feel like the beat has so much space. You could do your things with the 808, which is always a great position to be in. But let's just take the 808 down just half a dB. Let's try that. Take it down half a dB. Let me know if it still feels good. Also, you had the little percussion sound, that coo, 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 coo. That percussion sound, it felt a little too loud, a little too present. If we could pull that back just a little bit, it'll feel more balanced if you pull it back. And also, let's try experiment kicking it up an octave. That percussion sound, that doo, 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 doo. That percussion sound that was loud, let's pull that back and experiment with kicking it up an octave. Just transpose it up an octave and let me know if that feels a bit better. Pull it back, push it up an octave. Let me know if it feels better. I'm thinking that you're going to be like, okay, that sounds great. So let's go ahead and do that. When I was listening to the beat, I was trying to imagine a current artist on it. I try to freestyle as somebody like Moneybagg Yo. That's part of the reason why I mute my mic. I try to freestyle like somebody like Moneybagg Yo or Finesse 2Tymes. It was kind of difficult for me to catch a groove from a modern artist. This is one thing you could do, especially with this style of beat. And it's going to take you, putting your ego aside to do something like this, especially with your musicality. If you could, this is just an option. If you could find a modern producer who makes these, Take Heath style beats, these good Southern musically authentic beats. If you can find a younger producer who makes beats like that, whether it be on BeatStars, on YouTube, on Instagram, just kind of whenever you make time, try to find a younger producer who makes that style of music, authentic Southern music. They show respect to the OGs, but you could tell it's the modern sound. It's the stuff that the new people are listening to. Have that, collab with that producer. Try to, if you're on BeatStars or whatever you use, I say BeatStars because you can automatically split beat sales 50-50. But regardless, the main point is collab with a younger producer with your sound, and you two are going to make a nice fusion together. It may not be the first producer that you reach out to, maybe the second, maybe the third, maybe the fourth. If you two can get together, fuse your musicality and your sensibility for authentic Southern hip hop music, and then listen and then get the modern producer to add just the little elements, he might even push the tempo up and do certain things to modernize it a bit more. And once you do that, I think you can make a nice dynamic duo. A producer who makes authentic Southern music and a younger producer makes that modern Southern hip hop music. Y'all fuse together. I think y'all could be a powerhouse. So that's just a great way to blend both worlds. And if you are on a platform like BeatStars, it's easy to split the beat leases or beat sales that way. So please try to find that younger producer who you can collab with. I think you two can make magic. So shout out to you. Shout out to you. You hear me. I definitely heard you, and I want to hear you again. Next time on the Beat Check, I will be here next Friday. And subscribe to my YouTube so you can see the community post announcements so you know whenever the Heat Check is coming. All right. Shout out to you. You hear me? Moving forward, we have our next producer of the night. Their name is Gold with Project 13. So we're going to listen to Project 13 by Gold. Then I'm going to give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
It's Gold Sounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Gold with Project 13. Now, Gold, I can tell that you're in the discovery stage of beat making. What do I mean by that? I mean, you're kind of in the early discovery phase of beat making. That means you're even figuring out what sounds good. What does a good kick sound like? What does a good snare sound like? What does a good bass sound like? What do good guitars sound like? You know, it's easy as music fans to just listen to the finished product and then we're like, oh, that's a great song or that's a great beat. But once you come to the production world, you have to figure out how to put things together. It's like being a chef. You know, you go from going to different restaurants as a consumer of food or consumer of music. Then now when it comes to the creation side, you have to figure these things out. How much spice to add, how much garlic powder to add, how much onion powder to add. What's the right temperature? Can you just look at something and see that it's done? And then like that in the music production world, you're still in the phase of figuring out what sounds good and how to put things together. I would say continue to make beats, continue to submit to platforms like this show right here, the Heat Check, and just get feedback. As far as this beat specifically, it just didn't have much energy. It didn't really move anywhere. The sound selection kind of felt like you were selecting stock sounds and putting them together and just trying to put the beat together, but there wasn't really any understanding of how to select sounds. You're in that phase of just kind of figuring things out. In this phase, just continue to make beats, continue to listen to beats, and continue to watch tutorials. So lock in with maybe 1 to 2 producer tutorials that you can find on YouTube, and then be patient with yourself. This is a process. Don't listen or watch a tutorial and then beat yourself up that your stuff doesn't sound like, Metro Boomin or, who else? Hit Boy or somebody like that. You're in that phase of figuring out how to produce a beat. So continue to watch tutorials, continue to get feedback, and over time you're going to start to develop. Just don't beat yourself up. Don't quit that you don't automatically shoot up towards the top and be one of the best. Keep working, keep grinding. I'm going to continue to give feedback and help you out in your music production journey. Shout out to you for even submitting to the Heat Check. Not everybody is courageous enough to do that, and you did that, and that is going to help you a lot. But yeah, keep cooking up beats, keep watching tutorials, and you are going to grow as a producer. Moving forward, we have our final producer of the night, which is Neptune Blue 5. Neptune Blue 5. Looks like, are you watching Neptune Blue 5? I need to fix my chat here in OBS. I think you might be watching Neptune Blue 5. But shout out to you, Neptune. So we're going to go ahead and take a listen to this beat, Neptune Blue 5. This one's called Blue Backs Big Racks. Ooh, that's a strong name. So I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic, take a listen, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Neptune Blue. Is that Neptune Blue 5? Is that Neptune Blue Money? Sorry. My glasses are dark. Sorry, Neptune Blue Money, or Neptune Blues with the S as a $ as an S. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that to your name. Okay, so that beat had the sub just sliced off. I couldn't hear any sub frequencies at all. It felt like, I don't know if when you were exporting it, you had something on the master that hacked off the bass, the sub bass. I couldn't hear it at all. The beat just felt like it had a filter on it. So that prevented me from even getting into the beat, because it sounded like there's some type of filter on it. So I don't know if that's if whenever you were exporting the beat, something was on there. If that's the case, please submit the beat to the next heat check. But it just sounded sliced off. I literally couldn't hear any sub. It's like somebody was doing like a high pass filter and left it on. It's just hacked off. And it's an 808 heavy beat, so it's hard for me to even have the capacity to judge the beat because the sub was hacked off. So, yeah, the sub was hacked off, so I don't know how to judge that beat with the bass hacked off like that. Yeah, so please export again. Make sure something's not cutting off yourself, some type of EQ or filter that you left on, and I'll be glad to review the beat. But it's almost like reviewing a song and somebody the auto-tune settings were off. It's like, how can I judge a song if the auto-tune settings were off? Because I can't get into the song to judge it. And it's kind of an analogy to this beat. The subs are gone, so what can I do to review a hard hip hop beat with the sub bass just hacked off? So I'm gonna have to move on to the next beat because I don't know what happened there. Looking at this waveform, it looks like this one should have the bass included, so we should be good to go with this second beat. Let's take a look here. Okay, it looks like you're here. You're here in the chat. I figure you were here. Neptune Blue Beats, shout out to you. Yes. So shout out to Neptune Blue Beats. He's in the chat. So shout out to you. Thank you for submitting. And let's listen to your next beat. By the way, it looks like everything is good with this beat. So I'm going to mute my mic, take a listen, then give my feedback. So let's listen together. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the second submission of the night from Neptune Blue Beats. That one was called Back to Business. Now, that beat also had the bass cut off. I'm not quite sure what's happening. Let me take a look at the chat. Let's see. Oh, that's it. Okay. That's it. He only has his laptop, no monitors. That makes sense now because he literally can't hear that the low end is cut off. Gotcha. Yes. So the sub bass is just cut off, and your explanation makes sense that you're using laptops and you can't hear that the bass is just cut off. I can't hear the lower part of the kick, the lower part of the bass. You know, if you can invest in headphones like these are the Sony MDR, I want to say 7506. Let me see. Yeah, wait. Yeah, Sony MDR 7506. Invest in good headphones so you can hear the bass, the sub frequencies. So I was able to catch a little bit of feedback on this one. So this beat had a good sample, and I like the percussion that you added to it. One point of feedback is that I was hearing that the bass in this one had a few moments where the bass was out of key. That growl in the mid range that you have in the bass makes it super easy for me to pick up. That the bass was out of key, and this is a melodic beat, so it really sticks out in melodic beats when the bass is out of key. So one thing you could do to get the bass in key, this is a tip I learned years ago. I actually saw this on a Johnny Giuliano tutorial years ago. And that is to, on your DAW and in your piano roll, transpose the 808 up an octave and listen. And then you can transpose it up another octave and listen and make sure that it sounds like it's musically in key. Then once you do that, push it down an octave. Is it still musically in key? Then push it down another low octave and then listen and see if it's in key. And the reason for that is because the human ear doesn't pick up low frequencies as well as if it picks up higher frequencies. So it's easier to hear if a bell or boo boo sound is in key other than a boo boo. The human ear doesn't pick up on those things the same way. So transpose the 808 up, listen, and then you can tell if it's in key, then transpose it down an octave and then get it right where you want it to. Then you can tell that's going to be in key. So let's get those 808s in key. And then as far as the bass goes, let's invest in some headphones so you can hear those lower frequencies and you could be good to go. So that just the slicing of that low end kind of just threw me off so much. Let's take a look at the chat here. It's maybe right. That was having issues to tell in mics and harmonics. You're welcome, Neptune. You're welcome, man. We've all been there, man. It's a grind. It's takes time to get equipment and stuff like that. I have been there, my brother. I have been there. So yeah, shout out to you, Neptune. Please continue to submit to the heat check. Please get some headphones so you can hear the lower end frequencies, and I can review your music the way it needs to be reviewed. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is a new Made in the Studio podcast once again coming this upcoming Thursday. Made in the Studio, a brand new episode. We're going to have very talented producer. His name is Darrell Banks. He's known for his tight beats. He has musical style. He's a sound designer. He sells sample packs. He's gonna give you game. A lot of good game on YouTube type beats, because that dude is super consistent. A lot of good game on YouTube type beats. A lot of game on sample packs. A lot of game on dealing with people, dealing with artists. And some producers are super talented, but they don't know how to communicate with artists. Darrell Banks is going to give you guys a lot of good game on that. Once again, that is coming on Thursday. This upcoming Thursday, Made in the Studio podcast. You can watch it right here on my YouTube channel. And also, if you have Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere that you listen to podcasts, you're going to be able to find that. So make sure you subscribe to the Made in the Studio podcast. Absolutely. Shout out to you, Neptune. And ladies and gentlemen, like I said, give me 10 minutes after the stream ends. Then I'm going to open up the form, Desmond A Sounds /review, so you can submit for next Friday's Heat Check. And if you don't want to wait on that, just wait for my YouTube community post. I'm going to post that as soon as the form is open, so you can see that right in your YouTube timeline, so you can submit for next week's show. The only way the show can continue is if you tell a friend to tell a friend. So if you have any other producer friends, please let them know about the Heat Check and that I am here to help you guys out. And of course, you can see in the bar up there, I now have one-on-one coaching. So if you guys want to do one-on-one with me, want to get an hour, we just sit down, chop it up, listen to many beats if you want. You want to talk about life, you want to talk about dealing with artists, you want to talk about recording artists, if you want to purchase that, book some time with me. It's just going to be me and you on Zoom, and we can just chat, chop it up. Man, I've seen a few things, been a few places, and I could help you guys not make a lot of mistakes that I made and help you grow. So that is that. I have the coaching there. Also, free sounds on Desmond A Sounds. It's free sounds on DesmondASounds.com. FL Studio patch for plugins, loops, guides, everything that you need. Go get it there. Subscribe. Like, so I can continue to give more value to you guys. It takes a lot of time to do all this stuff, but it's well worth it to help the music production community. Neptune, you just go to DesmondASounds.com/coaching, or you just go to DesmondASounds.com and you will see it listed and all the services and all the stuff that I have on my website. You get sounds, guides, everything, and then you just keep scrolling, DesmondASounds.com, and you'll see the option to book one-on-one coaching, so you can purchase that to get one-on-one time with me. And I'll be glad to help you guys out. So, next Friday, Heat Check, 9:30. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Y'all be safe out there. I want to see you guys again. What am I doing? Yes, I'm going to be in the studio tomorrow. I might stream. I might not. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this Friday's Heat Check. I will see you guys soon. The form is going to open in a few minutes. Thank you to all the producers who submitted to this week's show. I'm more than grateful to help you guys out in your music production journey. My name is Desmond A, and I will see you guys next time.